Hey guys, welcome back. This is my garden from last year. It's really small, but I've expanded it since then. And one thing that needs to be expanded as well is the trellis in the middle for the cucumbers. The cucumbers got to the top and stopped growing because there's no place to go. So now I'm going to build a trellis big enough that the cucumbers will not outgrow it, and big enough to also add in some green beans as well. This garden bed on the end is going to be where I build the trellis. This is where I will plant the green beans and cucumbers so that they can climb up the trellis and have something to support them. The basic frame of this trellis is just going to be out of 2x4s. It's going to be very simple, and then I'm going to use some twine to run in between the 2x4s and give something for the vines to climb up. That finishes up the 4 beams on the corners. Now I need to finish off the top, add in a few 2x4s to support all 4 beams together and give something to tie the twine to as well. Now that the frame is finished, I'm going to take my staple gun and staple the twine to the 2x4 frame and give something for the vines to climb up. I'm going to go back with my staple gun and just reinforce a couple areas that I think will be load bearing and might have a lot of weight on it. So I'm going to put in a couple more staples to make sure it will stay in place. Now it's time to plant the vines, and I'm going to plant them fairly close to the trellis, probably about 6 inches or so away from the trellis. That way once they start growing, it'll be easy to start them growing up the trellis and wrap them around the string and give them some place to go. On this side, I'll be planting the green beans, just like the cucumbers on the other side, about 6 inches away from the edge. That way they have enough dirt to grow some roots and be close enough to the trellis to grow up once they start getting some length. And I'll be planting a couple seeds. A few of my plants died a little while back by late frost, and so I'll be planting some seeds as well as planting the leftover plants that I have as well. Now to plant these seeds, I'm going to dig a little bit of a ditch for the seeds to go down into and just barely cover it up with dirt. I still want there to be a ditch so that when I water the garden, the water will actually go into that ditch and pool up and make sure it saturates the seeds. Now this is about a week later, and you can see already the green bean plants are starting to grow up the trellis. The seeds that I planted are starting to sprout. I water them about once or twice a day to make sure they stay wet and moist instead of drying out in the sun. And these seeds right here, you can see they're starting to break up the soil, and the sprouts will come up in just a couple days, I'm sure. And the other green bean plants you can see are starting to get really stocky and grow, but they're not quite making it to the trellis yet. So as these plants grow and start getting vines growing off of it, I will be able to lead them towards the trellis and have it grow up the side. Having a trellis like this is really helpful for plants like cucumbers and green beans, where they grow like a vine and you can lead them up the side of this trellis. This will keep all the fruit off of the ground, keep it from rotting, and it'll also keep it in the sun and help it ripen more evenly. Alright guys, that finishes up my video for today. A trellis like this is super helpful. If you have your own garden, I would really suggest building one of these, and it's super cheap too. Just a couple 2x4s and some string that you might already have around your house, and then you could have a trellis just like this to grow your crops on. Alright guys, don't forget to hit that like button down below if you have not already. Also hit that subscribe button, or you could leave me a comment of what you thought about this video. Thanks guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.